My name is Sue Stanfield, and I'm from Titus. And I've been trying to reach Bobby Bright, too. And he's not real good at getting back or giving clear answers or honest answers, and I found that out. I've talked to several of his people in Washington, and I've talked to some here locally. But anyway, I want to go beyond the health care. I'm totally in disagreement with it. I have grandchildren that I don't want them to grow up under this kind of restriction. I think it's wrong. But I want us to look a little further than just the health care and look at the strategy that this administration has got going for the American people. The strategy is scary and dangerous. It is very, very dangerous. And I want to say also about these czars that Obama has got, I think it's 35 now, 40. They do not have to come through congressional oversight. That's right, they do not. They answer to Obama, or who he chooses they answer to. And they have more power than our elected officials. And we need to put a stop to it. We need to stand up against this government and the way this administration is working it. It is wrong for the American people. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And we're going to go back to Eric. One more? Okay, come on down, and then we're going to go back to Eric, and Rick is going to finish it off.
My name's Rand Owens, and I'm from Elmore, Alabama. I'd just like to ask the Congressman, are you proud to be in a party that has been infiltrated by the likes of left-wing and radical fascist organizations like ACORN, SEIU, the Tide Foundation? Congressman, are you proud to be associated with a party that has advisors and leaders such as Van Jones, Mark Lloyd, Jim Jones, Ezekiel Emanuel, Rahm Emanuel, Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid? The answer is yes. Please tell me why you are proud to be associated with the likes of those organizations and those people. And by the way, why in the world should my tax dollars go to fund a gimmick government-run car deal? Thank you.
Great questions. Okay, come on up. We got one more. You know how to stand.
I'm Donnie Cooper. I'm from Benton, Alabama. That's in Lowndes County. And I don't know who you give credit to for us having a great country, but I give credit to God. This administration, as far as I know, has only said one thing that I agree with. I'm very disappointed to say it, and that is that our country is no longer a Christian nation. Now, if that's true, it's because the church has fallen down on our job. And I'm here to let you know that I'm not willing to sit by anymore in the name of tolerance to let the things that this administration is doing continue. And as far as health care is being said, mine and your tax dollars could be used for the killing of unborn children. Now, I'm not willing to let my tax dollars go for something my God says is wrong. We need to stand up to take control and say, no, we are not doing what God says is wrong. It says in the Bible that what is bad is when good people call evil good. The things that are going on now are not good. Let's stand up, church, and take back America.
Thank you very much. Bobby Bright needs to take a stand for us today, or he's going to fall tomorrow in 2010. Do you agree with that? This is not a bipartisan issue. This is tyranny. Straight up tyranny. It's not Democrat, it's not Republican, it's straight up tyranny. And we must stand up for the church, for our nation, and for who we are and who our future, or what our future will look like in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. Ladies and gentlemen, you must stand up. You cannot leave here today without being fired up and going to do something. If I leave here today and I do nothing, then it is as if this never occurred. You cannot let it go in one ear, out the other. We don't need cheeks in the seats. We need boots on the ground. We need men and women willing to move and make things happen. If you do not make things happen, somebody else is going to. But the problem is, it will be against you and not for you. Queen Esther was told by her cousin Mordecai, if you don't stand up and do something now, you will not escape the fate that the rest of us will have, but surely somebody else will be raised up and take your place, because God is sovereign. Chris Lincoln. Are you up here? Are you anywhere, Chris Lincoln? Did I get that right? Where is he? Chris Lincoln. Oh, okay. Well, Chris Lincoln's not here. All right, guys. How about, instead of cash for clunkers, cash for congressmen? If I pass a hat, will you give me $4,500 to get this man out of office? Somebody is going to stand up and somebody's going to run against this man. And listen, this is not what I want to do. I don't want him to go away unless he doesn't represent us. And then we must put somebody in office who will do what the will of the people is, and that is not what's happening today. If you are not willing to stand up, if you're not willing to move and make things happen, at a minimum, open your wallets and help somebody else who is willing to make things happen. Guys, we need you. We need somebody to make things happen. Now, there are tea parties all about. You can support those. But you need to prayerfully consider what God would have you do. And then do what he tells you to do. Don't go, oh God, no, I didn't hear that. Let me hear that again. I didn't hear that. Don't do it again. Get out and do something or it will happen to you. I read in the Washington Post Classifieds this. Free blue dog puppies. DNC registered, housebroken, and neutered. Do you agree with that? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, we have got to get things going. You guys are fired up. Are you ready to change politics as usual and bring it back to the people? Yeah! Are you ready to return it to our country and to those who run the country, which is you? Yeah! Are you ready to keep the momentum flowing? Yeah! And take your passion and anger to the streets. Are any of you going to Washington, D.C. to march on D.C. on the 12th? Yeah! Very good. Thank you very much. If some of you aren't going to Washington, D.C., but would like to go, but you can't go, please see me or somebody else. We will gladly take your money and pay for somebody else who can't afford to go but wants to go. Please, we need 100,000, 500,000, or 1 million people walking down the streets of D.C., or they're not going to listen to us because you know what MSNBC said, a couple thousand will show up. We'll have all 3 of the main arteries going into the Capitol filled up. And what will they say? Really, only a couple people came, and they're all wearing swastikas. And they're all bussed in. That's true. We're going to be bussed in. That is very true. Lastly, are any of you willing to go and hold Congressman Bright accountable? Hold his feet to the fire. Let me tell you right here. Well, I can't go over there. The Gaston flag. Ladies and gentlemen, they don't fear us. But if you look at the Gaston flag, you see what? A rattlesnake. Coiled up and ready to do what? Strike. They don't fear you. We need to be that rattlesnake that they will fear. We need to be that snake that is not afraid to lash out, no, not in anger, in righteous indignation, in our constitutional rights. We need to move forward and we need to strike at the heel of the enemy, whoever the enemy may be. They will not forget us. They will not forget that we were here today. We're going to be on YouTube, by the way, so Congressman Bright, who did not show up, can watch us. But they cannot forget we were here today. You must tell everyone you were here today. You must tell everyone what is going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to turn and look where my finger is pointing. There's a class of students back there. I don't know them, but there's a class of students back there. Watch out, they're in uniforms. And I applaud them for being here. Some of them may not want to be here, and some of them may not agree with me. And I say, great. Let's exercise our constitutional rights. Let's teach the young, because if we don't do it, somebody else will.